You're rocking with the MLBbro Show, where we bring you the latest and greatest in black and brown baseball players. Lock in with the Gambler, D-Grub, and Crit. Let's get it.
Okay, it's the rundown. Run 'em down, gun 'em down. It's the rundown. Run 'em down, run 'em down. Yo, the rundown. The bro show for the all-star flow. And it was packed like the Palladium or a go-go show in the 80s when the stadiums were black on go. Now we leading the way to bring it back for the bros. All-Star Weekend, speaking to the Soul Patrol. Mookie Betts let it be known it's time to hold our own. As usual, the All-Star game was a blackout. Long homer shots to the dome like the max out. Mookie says he wants more blacks at the game. That's a vet who made a career out of stacking them things. It's a message that MLBbro been preaching, teaching the brethren in the street and urban areas where the projects meet the beatings. And brown-skinned athletes are priced out of competing. Jazz Chisholm, Byron Buxton got the flavor we're needing. Aaron Judge showing us love, we remain undefeated. The pipeline's full of white lies, but the draft provided bright times. 5 MLB bros in the top 20s, that's a lifeline. Tamar Johnson, Elijah Green, they riders. Kumar Rocker been nice, but the Mets were liars. Justin Crawford got the pedigree, there's no denying. Cause his pops used to set the Tropicana on fire, just wildin'. Let's not forget he found Megan Thee Stallion. So the bros be pushing envelopes and compiling with black stallions. Commissioner Robert Manfred, he saw the bro action. It was up in his face like a wet COVID mask. And I was asking for the support of the league. Cause MLBbro.com is something the streets need. For the loot rocks and body rocks and slept on soldiers. Like Tristan McKenzie throwing boulders from the shoulder. Rachel Robinson's 100 years old. We have to hold her in the highest regard. The royalty that we owe her. The loyalty that he showed her. Jackie, LA All-Star, sporting, chilling in the dugout with Dusty and Willie Horton. We the MLB bros, mad high without the snorting. But the players recognize the melanin's important. So you add us to the movement that buildings and institutions adds us to the layers between the players and the students of the game in the front office. Keep the party grooving. It's all about the impact. The Black Ballers reunion. It's the run down. Shout out to all the All-Stars, MLB bros. Second half of the season. Let's go 2022. MLBbro Show Mixtape Podcast. You heard the flavor. You know the vibe. Let's go.
It's those classic hits with David Grubb on MLBbro's podcast. It's those classic hits with David Grubb on MLBbro's podcast.
What's up, everybody? You know what time it is. I'm David Grubb, and you're listening to Classic Hits right here on the MLBbro podcast. This week, I'm shining a light on the one and only Vida Blue, one of the most dominant pitchers of the 1970s and early 80s. His 1971 season is one of the most legendary in baseball history. At just 21 years of age, Blue won the American League Cy Young and MVP awards after going 24-8 in 39 starts with a league-best 8 shutouts, 24 complete games, and posted a ridiculous 1.82 earned run average while leading the A's to the postseason for the first time in 40 years. Oh, and he struck out 301 batters in 312 innings and appeared on the covers of Sports Illustrated and Time magazine. Again, he did this at the age of 21, making him the youngest player to be named most valuable player in the history of Major League Baseball. It wouldn't be the last time he would make history either. Expectations were always high for Blue when he was drafted out of Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana by the then Kansas City A's in the second round of the 1967 draft. Following that breakthrough 71 campaign, Vida Blue went 43-27 over the next 3 seasons as the A's won 3 straight World Series championships. The breakup of the Oakland dynasty would end the peak of his career as he put up his last 20-win season in 1975, going 22-11. In 1978, Vida Blue moved across the bay to San Francisco to have his last truly solid season. He won 18 games for the Giants and was named starter of the All-Star game, becoming the first pitcher to start the Midsummer Classic for both leagues. Over his final 7 seasons, Blue was never dominant like he was in his prime, but he still managed to earn All-Star nods in 1980 and 81 before retiring after the 1986 campaign and finishing with a career record of 209 and 161. It was shocking to some, but not Blue, that he was taken off the Hall of Fame ballot after 1 year. He did struggle with drug addiction during his career, but so did a lot of big leaguers at the time. That hasn't turned him away from the game that he loves, though. He still lives in San Francisco, promoting baseball in the black community, working with a number of charitable organizations, and serving as a television analyst for the Giants. Maybe one day the Veterans Committee will get Vita Blue into Cooperstown. If not, he's still a certified melanated mound marauder. And this week's Classic Hit. I'm David Grubb. Now back to the mix.
This is Renee Washington with another Swinging and Missing here on MLBbro.com.
It's Swinging and Missing on MLBbro.com.
Well, here on Swinging and Missing, we've talked about the culture and Pride Month celebrations, but we also have to take a look back at what was done across Major League Baseball to celebrate Black culture, specifically Juneteenth, as well as Father's Day. At T-Mobile Park, the first 10,000 fans at the Angels-Mariners game received a replica hat from the 1946 Seattle Steelheads, a team in the Negro Leagues. The Mariners also rocked Steelhead jerseys on Saturday in the first game of their doubleheader weekend. And over at Fenway Park, fans at the St. Louis-Boston game received a special offer for a Juneteenth edition Red Sox jersey featuring the Juneteenth flag and colors. Now, travel over to Pittsburgh, not too far away at PNC Park. The first Black mayor of Pittsburgh, Ed Gainey, had the chance to throw out the first pitch Saturday before the Pirates took on the Giants. And then also part of the June holiday weekend was, of course, Father's Day celebrations as well. Every Major League Baseball team wore special gray and blue Father's Day edition caps in their games on Sunday. And here's a fun Father's Day fact. Across top male sports, the NHL had the highest number of players play at least one game last season at 6.1% that had a father that played in the National Hockey League as well. And according to ESPN sources, the NBA was the second highest and the NFL was next after that. Major League Baseball had 1.9% of second-generation players that played in 2021. But did you know, back in 2001, Major League Baseball was the second highest on that list across male sports. Very interesting. So we've got more to come on fatherhood in the league, as well as how teams have been celebrating various cultures and diversity represented around Major League Baseball. Stay tuned. This is Renee Washington, and that's another edition of Swinging and Missing here on MLBbro.com.
MLBbro.com, covering Black and brown major leagues.
Extra base power.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Extra Base Power here on the MLB Bro Show podcast. It's Crit here with you once again, like I am every week, bringing you some of the best things that I've seen from black and brown players throughout the game of baseball this week. So on Sunday, we had 3 young bros taken in the top 5 of the MLB draft. A tremendous day for black and brown baseball players. Now, many reports will say 4 out of 5, but it's really just 3 out of the 5. Those 3 players are Kumar Rocker, who was taken 3rd by the Texas Rangers, Tamar Johnson out of Mays High School in Atlanta, Georgia, taken 4th by the Pittsburgh Pirates, and Elijah Green of IMG Academy in Florida, taken 5th by the Washington Nationals. Now, if you remember, Rocker was drafted number 10 last year by the Mets, but he didn't sign because of medical reasons, something with his shoulder. He had arthroscopic surgery and decided to pitch in an independent league instead of returning to Vanderbilt, where he was lights out. Had an ERA under 2, and he absolutely killed the batters that he faced. Bet on himself, and that gamble paid off. Now, as far as the other 2 guys, they aren't going to the best organizations, but they do have some good examples to look up to at the big league level. If you look at Johnson, he can look right next to Ke'Bryan Hayes, who's at 3rd base, and Johnson will be playing right next to him if he sticks to this position of shortstop. And Green, although he plays a different position, can still look up to Josiah Gray on his road to the majors with the Washington Nationals. And that leads me to a bigger issue of representation here in the MLB. We're starting to get a little better, but we still got a long way to go. So here at MLBbro.com, we bring attention to our stars. And our non-stars as well, but our stars get a lot of attention. And with several of them being excellent players, and not only the best players in their positions, but some of the best players in all of baseball, it helps young bros growing up to see someone doing what they want to do, or just give them an idea of what they can do. You know, we have plenty of representation in football and basketball, not so much in baseball. Starting to get better though. So you see the MLB pumping 4 black players taken in the top 5, although it's really 3. If they want to keep going with that, fine. If they want this to happen more than once, because it's been said that this is the first time it's ever happened in the history of the draft, they need to continue to promote their black stars. There are plenty of guys who play in big markets. You got Mookie Betts in LA, Aaron Judge and DeCarlo Stanton on the same team with the Yankees in New York. There are no two bigger markets than that. So it won't be hard to do. And also, they need to continue to put money into the inner city programs like they have been doing, and like they do in Latin America for their baseball academies. They put a lot of money into those things. So keep putting that same money into the inner cities and see the results that come out of it. But all in all, it's been a couple of good days for baseball bros, starting on Sunday with the draft, and followed up on Tuesday with DeCarlo Stanton winning the MVP of the All-Star game with a 2-run home run. I don't know, but to me, it seems like the year of the MLBbro is upon us. And that's all for Extra Base Power here on this week's MLBbro Show podcast. Be sure to tune in next week for more. As always, I'm Crit. Thanks for listening.
The crew from MLBbro had Cali on lock the entire All-Star break, and our man Nick Hamilton was there to get this exclusive interview with Twins outfielder Byron Buxton before the game. Let's go, Nick.
Just bringing culture more to baseball. We look what the NFL and the NBA have done as far as ingratiating themselves in the culture. What do you think Major League Baseball needs to do more of, especially as we saw with the draft a day or so ago? What else do they need to do in order to get more Black American baseball players engaged in baseball?
Just keep getting out there and encouraging, keep holding, camps, things like that to encourage us to get out there. I know back home I got a lot of guys that when I'm at the baseball field, they come out, don't play baseball, they just come out just to see me hit, see me play, see me have fun, and that gives them courage to go play, whatever sport it is. It gives them that ability to not worry about the negativity. They see me and see my work ethic, my preparation, and it's like, okay, I can go do that. And for me, that's like a plus. Just keep getting the younger guys into games, into baseball, whatever the sport may be. It allows you to enjoy life.
Deion Sanders recently made comments about basically being priced out of the market. A lot of Black and urban families being priced out of the market where it's not affordable to play baseball. Your thoughts on that, and is there a solution to even that from your perspective?
It's a hard solution. That's very tough, especially with how I know my parents had to work and where I come from. Getting up at 1 o'clock, my dad driving trucks just to be able to come coach me in the afternoon. That's, for me, what keeps me going day in and day out. My mom been at the school, loving kids. Parents being foster parents was probably the biggest eye-opener for me. Just to always want to help, be that helper, be the guy to be successful for not just myself, but also for other kids.
What are you listening to these days, man? What's in your rotation? What's in the locker room?
Good question. Our locker room is actually very unique. We listen to quite everything. Alternative, European. Then we got Kepler. We listen to a little German rap too. So it's not just one genre. We got a little bit of spice in there. I'm a big country guy, but I listen to Morgan Wallen about an hour before the game, and then I switch over, and then I gotta get in my zone, and I'm listening to Key Glock or Young Dolph somewhere. I'm Georgia kid, South Georgia kid, so good music get me going.
MLBbro.com.
That concludes another episode of the MLBbro Show podcast mixtape for this week. Remember, we will gladly pay you on Tuesday for an MLBbro doubleheader today. The heart of the game lies in the diversity of the game and the spirit of Black baseball that dates back to the Negro Leagues. I, the Gambler, your friendly neighborhood diamond checker, making sure that you stay on top of the game and in touch with the soul of MLB. See you next week, ladies and germs. We out of here. Drop the mic, please.
You're rocking with the MLBbro Show, where we bring you the latest and greatest in Black and brown baseball players. Lock in with the Gambler, D-Grub, and Crit. Let's get it.